here with AJ. Is it me? Is that how you pronounce your last name?
It is me, yes. And it's
me.
And for those of you that are listening and not watching this podcast, you might think that it might be an Asian last name. It is not. It is Irish.
Irish. I had no idea that was Irish.
If you've ever seen the last name Meehan, Meehan,
okay.
Someone like in the 1400s either added or subtracted the last three letters depending on who you speak to. Someone was a criminal, and that's how you get to me.
There you go. Well, if they didn't change your name, maybe you never would have made it this far. You know?
Exactly.
You never know. So I see you got a pretty sweet studio set up behind you, man. That's nice.
Yeah, thank you. It's what I call my midlife crisis. So you can see a few guitars on the wall behind me. There's basses on this wall. There's other guitars on this wall and back in this corner. And I definitely have a crisis here.
Yeah,
but
awesome.
every instrument, I wouldn't say it's a collection because every guitar has a purpose. I'd like to think. Nothing is like collection worthy.
Okay.
I'm not the lawyer or the doctor that has the wall of PRSs that are like $10,000 a piece.
Right. Or like the 59 gold top, Les Paul gold top. You know, you don't have that one, the $100,000 one.
Definitely not. I don't have the Dumble amplifier. I want to be able to own stuff that's nice and be able to take out to places and play and not have it be Closet Queens.
Right. I have an SG similar to yours, but mine's an Epiphone. I can't see the top of that headstock, but I'm assuming it's a Gibson.
I'll do a little show and tell. This is a Gibson from 2009. Oh, geez, that's really in the way.
Very
there.
nice.
But yeah, Gibson. I have an Epiphone Les Paul on this wall, which is Epiphones can be pretty fantastic instruments.
I've got an SG and a Les Paul, and I love them both.
Absolutely,
I think they're great guitars. Yep. I swapped out the pickups in my Les Paul. Not me personally. I took it to somebody to do it because I'm not that mechanically inclined. Even though I know it's not that big a deal, but I don't want to mess things up. But anyway, I have Seymour Duncans in my Epiphone Les Paul, and
what kind? What kind of Seymour Duncans do you have?
Oh, I don't even know. It was so long ago that I put them in there. I don't like 85 something. Does that
85 would be 81s and 85s are for EMGs. Seymour Duncan might be like a 59 or a JB.
I don't know. It was literally like 20 years ago probably when I put them in. And like I didn't know much. I was just like, oh, these. I think I asked the guy like at a store. I'm like, and at the time I was like a metal dude, you know. So I was like, you know, I like my Les Paul, but it sounds too bassy, like, you know. And I listened to like Metallica and AC/DC. What do you recommend? And I just put in whatever he recommended. And I went, I was in a band like 20 years ago, and my bandmate had a Gibson Les Paul. I don't know what brand. I mean, I don't know what model, but I preferred the sound of my Epiphone over his Les Paul, you know, over his Gibson. So whatever. Money well spent.
Absolutely. If you've worked on that instrument, here, let me kill some of my reverb on my microphone there. There we go. It sounds like I'm in an FM radio station. This Epiphone Les Paul is Here, let me show you real quick.
Yeah, let's see it.
All right, so this one is an Epiphone. It is a custom.
Oh, nice.
It has Flyers, my first favorite team in all of professional sports, and it has a MIDI pickup on it too. So,
is that what that is?
Yeah,
okay,
so,
I've never seen that.
So
before.
when somebody calls and they say, "I need a keyboard player," once in a while, like 99 Reasons most recently has asked me to be a keyboard player.
Nice.
To substitute here and there. So cool stuff. Yeah, but if you go to a Guitar Center and you pick up a Gibson Les Paul off the wall, you know that they're not well set up. I have this thing dialed in. And I'd rather have that.
Nice. So let's talk a little bit about that, right? So I don't know a whole lot about your musical background. I met you at the open mic that I hosted at Little East Tavern, and thank you very much for coming. I appreciate it. And also I recently learned that you you sometimes play with the cover band 99 Reasons. I had Rich Bradley on the podcast a while back. And yeah, I was just kind of curious, like, do you do you consider yourself kind of like a hired gun, or are you in like a regular band that I just don't know about? Like tell me your story. Like, what are you doing now?
Yeah, promotion's a real challenge for me, so that's why.
Okay.
So yes, I've been playing in and out of bands for since 1990, so
wow. Okay.
35 years. I would consider my first and foremost band to be a little band out of Gloucester County, New Jersey, called Glacier. We probably play out once every 3 months or so, and it's comprised of folks that are based out of Gibbstown and East Greenwich, so very close to the river, not really close to like Deptford Mall or anything.
Gotcha.
And we're actually down a member. We lost our front man just about 2 years ago, and so we went from being a 5-piece to a 4-piece after his untimely passing. So we still
when you say lost, I wasn't sure what you meant, but man, it's that one.
It's that kind of a loss. Yeah,
that's a shame.
We're at that point in life. You never know. So. Yeah. You could either take the Led Zeppelin route and you could kind of call it a day, or you can plug on. And so we tried to plug on in his honor. And so
if he's your front man, he was singing. So who took on singing the part?
Yeah, I would say he was the front man. He wasn't necessarily the singer of every single song. All 5 of us sing.
Okay.
So.
Cool.
So it's a case like where you pass the mic around and everyone's got different strengths with their voices, and so you try to slot songs in. It's a cover band in that context.
Gotcha.
The band, I think, is like 30 some odd years ago. I was built 30 years ago. I only joined in like the late 2000s. So I'm still kind of the kid in the band, and we actually have one person that our bass player is actually newer than me. But there's a long legacy of playing original music in that band too. So occasionally we'll bust out one of their originals.
Nice.
But so that's Glacier, and the way that our format at the moment is it's kind of like a Sunday morning music club. Okay. So our bass player Jerry Corsi, he is a dentist that has an office in Woodbury, New Jersey.
Okay.
In the basement of said dentist office is this interesting practice space. It's office space, and what we do is we're in like 3 different rooms. We're spread across 3 different rooms, and they're like this common place where the sound kind of comes together. We use these in-ear monitors to kind of hear each other. But it's like our Sunday morning. Hey, we're going to step away from our families just momentarily. And hang out a little bit of brotherhood. Learn a few songs. We're playing like a whole bunch of 90s stuff. And I'll tell you a little bit later on about the next gig that we've got on July 4th.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome. So so that band's called Glacier. Some original music, also covers. Yep. You play out once every few months maybe. Is that right?
Yeah, and I spent a lot of time in here kind of writing my own music that kind of goes and stays here, I guess. I don't tend to promote it a lot. I had I have a band I would like to think. It's called Evergreen. This band is temporarily on hiatus because 2 of the members are full-time parents. And I suspect that once the kids are kind of moving along in life, and I would like to be able to knock on their door and say, hey, it's time to reactivate things. But in each one of our locations, we've got a full kind of recording setup and whatnot. So in that kind of a format, in fact, most of my my musical time on this planet has been in original acts.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. So then what kind of style would you say Evergreen is?
Never ask an artist something like that. But I would guess it's somewhere like somewhere between regular rock and emo.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
In an outfit like that, you're trying to get a little bit past like 3-chord songs. And a little bit of alternate tunings, a little bit of like spacier chords, but I was also a Metallica kid as a kid.
Nice.
Very much so. And so I introduced some of those elements into things too. So
very cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Have you guys released anything out there on Spotify, Apple Music, anything like that?
There's I think on Spotify the second album from Evergreen is out there, and the first one that is Sans AJ. But I literally had, and two of the songs that we're going to go through today are unreleased bits from Evergreen. So
nice.
These will kind of be exclusives to your program.
Woo-hoo. Yeah, nice. I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Awesome. When did you first start playing? Like, how old were you? When did you get your first guitar?
Yeah. So even before I ever picked up the guitar, I was playing clarinet.
Okay. Nice. Hey, you got to start somewhere, and
the first song I ever learned to play. And so this is third grade. Sweet Caroline.
Really? Nice.
On the clarinet. But
nice.
Neil Diamond would not have been part of the soundtrack of my childhood. Like it wasn't played in my house. There are other things that are being played. But like I see this song, Sweet Caroline, and really all that teacher had to do was kind of spin the record once so that we have an idea what we're supposed to be playing. We're learning to play the sheet music, but it was not an enjoyable experience trying to play a song just using your academic musical skills without having an idea what endgame looked like. So I played clarinet for 3 years, third grade, fourth grade, and fifth grade. And I could tell you about all my musical interests that were completely a departure from playing clarinet. But my first instrument, my dad, and my mom was obviously part of it, but my dad and I went out and picked up a Fender Precision 1972 American bass in Sunburst in 1989. So I started and I trained on bass for a number of years, like hardcore.
Okay. That's the one? Isn't that more? What's the word now? Isn't that more notably known as like the P bass, the Fender P bass? Is that what the P stands
exactly?
For?
Precision. P bass. Okay. P is in precision, and then there's the J bass.
That's what I thought. I wasn't sure.
No. It's all good, man. So and I still kick myself for ever getting rid of it. But the issue with it was I had a neck it was thicker than a baseball bat. Okay. And like I've had arthritis for my whole life, and just the left hand would be a little bit uncomfortable. But I pushed through that for a number of years with that bass. But so
even as a kid or teenager, you had arthritis?
I did. I know I had it in grade school. Like
really?
So I went to Catholic school, and you'd have the penmanship class. Oh man, that was torture.
Really?
And so even to this day, like I need to play the guitar in order to work the limbs. If you don't play, like your joints get locked up.
You get stiff and all that.
For sure.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
So the bass I got in 1989, and this I'm really gonna date myself, out of the Trading Times magazine.
Trading Times, nice.
So for those of you that are not from the area, Trading Times was like one of many different printed predecessors to Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, and that's where you would kind of buy used gear. So I got the bass off of the Trading Times. I got the amplifier at Cintioli Music in Oxford Circle in Philadelphia, where I grew up.
Okay,
and I was off to the races.
Yep. And you played bass. So bass was like kind of your first, like, I don't know, rock instrument, whatever you want to call it. But yep. And then how long did you play bass for before you kind of picked up other stuff?
I probably, so around the same time in my, I get so 89, maybe around 86 is the summer of 86 is my musical awakening from the stuff that I grew up with. And I can explain what that's all about. But, at my grandmother's house, there was a Stella acoustic guitar. This was not the most comfortable guitar in the world to play. The strings were probably 20 years old. That was owned by my Uncle Jody way back in the day. Nice. And so, but I played acoustic on that for a bunch of years. I wanted to learn kind of both while I was specializing in bass.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, I probably switched and became more of a guitar player around one of the changes in the original band scene. I think it was probably around 2010 where I kind of flip-flopped and focused a little bit more on guitar than bass.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it's so funny that like I didn't know that about you. It all makes sense now because at the last open mic at Little E's, I had brought my bass for whoever wanted to play it, and I rarely play it. I just kind of have it. I got a good deal on it from a website called OfferUp, and
nice.
And yeah, I've had it for a couple of years, and I bring it out occasionally to the open mic and to whoever wants to play it. And then you jumped on there and you were like ripping, and I'm like. Wait a second, he's a guitar player. How does he know how to play bass so well?
Well, I credit much of that to my music teacher. So around '89, we got that P bass, the Christmas of 1989, and
Okay.
and my parents signed me up for lessons at a music store on Castor Avenue in Northeast Philadelphia called Jerry's Music. There's an instructor there. His name's Ken Greenfield. He's working out of like a shoebox size closet in the back of this music store. It reeks of Marlboros. He's got this amazing Ibanez lawsuit. I'm using air quotes, lawsuit SG bass. And I learned on that thing. And I was with him for 5 years. I learned bass. I learned a little bit of guitar. I absolutely studied music theory hardcore and learned vocals under him. We spent a year studying this thing.
Motown. Okay.
James Jamerson, definitely a big ingredient in my my early years of music upbringing. And then when the bass comes along in '89 and I'm taking these lessons, I can apply that backwards in my music lifetime, not just forwards with new records that are coming out.
Yeah, that's one thing that I kind of regret in my early journey, my early musical journey, is like I only wanted to play guitar. So like I feel like if I would have tried any other instrument, and learned that things would have translated, and I would have been able to wrap my mind around theory a little bit easier, because I had zero interest in learning theory or learning any other instrument, all that stuff. It was all just, I want to play Metallica riffs. I want to play AC/DC riffs.
Absolutely.
And Led Zeppelin riffs. That's it. That's all I wanted to do. And now, I'm 52 years old, and I wish I played another instrument,
Well, if you would like someone to commiserate with, my failure with branching out in with music instruments is the mandolin, and it's another one of these things that my klutzy hands just can't get around the fretwork on that. I used to be able to play Stonehenge from Spinal Tap. The little ditty at the end there, but limited applicability. I could do going to California. But
there you go.
A couple of songs, but it never really stuck.
Right. Yeah, Leanne plays mandolin, so she's got a bunch of them in her place. And a lot of times I'll just like pick them up, and when I first like plucked around on it, and the tuning of it was so
it's upside down.
Wonky. Yeah, I was like, what is this? So I was very confused, but I'm starting to kind of fiddle around with stuff. It's fun. It's a fun instrument for sure. Yeah. Yep. So where did it go from there? Like when did you start like joining bands, and were any of those bands kind of like productive? Like, meaning, did you play out, or did you just play in basements and garages and all that?
No, definitely productive up to a hard wall.
Okay.
So in Ken Greenfield's little shoebox size studio, there's a door that leads to the hallway that leads to this store. And on this door, he's got all sorts of artifacts from local music artists. Talking folks like the Hooters, Heaven's Edge. I think he taught one of the guys from Heaven's Edge.
Nice.
But in the middle of that door, and this really appealed to me as someone who grew up playing sports just as much as caring about music. In the middle of that door was an index card. The index card was the top 10 students of the year.
Oh, cool.
And so I start my lessons in December. He posts the update in January. Like, why am I not on this list?
Well, you only been there.
I've only been there a month. I'm only getting started, right?
But you're super competitive, I guess,
it's
right?
exactly right, which led me into my daytime job. But
okay.
So the end of the first full year, I was number 3 on the list, and not happy
nice.
with that. And then the final 3 years, I was, and that's out of a population of like 90 students. Like, he taught 7 days a week.
Wow, that's
not
great.
that I'm anything amazing, but in that one little cohort, big fish in a small pond, I guess.
That's
so
awesome.
This leads to your question, which is like, how did I get started in bands? So, I had a fellow student, or a former student, if you will. His name's John Karpowitz. He goes by John Karp. He's based out of here in South Jersey too. But we grew up blocks away from each other, literally in Northeast Philadelphia. And he's forming a band, and he pings Ken Greenfield for advice on, hey, do you have any students that are up and comers that can join my little band? And Ken refers me in.
Nice.
And I would consider John Karpowitz to be the greatest musical mentor that I've ever had in my life. Like, Ken was my teacher, like academic teacher. I think John's the one that got me started on learning how to write songs. Like, that whole band, actually. Like, Alex Musica and Joe Gentili and Roger Sammartino and other folks that came in and out of that band. I'm forever in debt to have had my first band be a band that was primarily originals to work on. So when it comes to the point about how do you make that a productive thing? We certainly got out there and booked a whole lot of gigs. We were able to book gigs as like a 50% original, 50% cover band kind of a format.
Okay.
But while I'm in college, I was busy every weekend, and it's more than just Mad Money. It's enough. Like, I'm still living with mom and dad, and still have those blessings. But this is like a paycheck.
That's awesome. What was the name of that band?
It was called Big Noise at the time. Much like Starship / Jefferson / Jefferson Airplane. It had gone through a couple of lineups and a couple of different names over the course of the years, but all awesomeness and all goodness with the music.
Nice. That's awesome. So what places did you play? Like, I mean, like, just were you playing just kind of regular bars around the Philly and South Jersey area, or any other kind of bigger venues?
Bucks County, Montgomery County, Philadelphia. We were another one of these bands that played at the Galaxy back in the day.
Oh, nice.
Now, the funny part about, I think we played at Galaxy like 3 times maybe. And for those of you who have never enjoyed being at the Galaxy, they had like a cage that separated the stage and like a seating area from the bar area, so that you could have an under 21 crowd. I was 19.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
I was 19.
I was never there. I drove past it like in its like heyday. Like, I knew that like Cinderella had played there occasionally and stuff like that. But I was probably only like 17 or 18. I don't think we ever even thought of going there. I don't think we even knew that you could get in there if you were under 21.
You definitely could. Now there were parts that I had to be escorted around the over 21 area of the facility, like, but it was all good. Yeah. So we weren't there when like Cinderella played or Britney Fox played, but I think we were there like the same weekend that some iteration of Blue Oyster Cult played.
Oh, really? Nice. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. So play. What a Galaxy probably held like 250-ish kind of people. So we played. Some gigs like that, they tended to be a little bit more like the bar gigs where it's like 50 people in the audience.
Right.
But didn't matter because we had an absolute blast.
Yeah, it sounds like it. How long did that band, last approximately?
So in the Mark I version of the band, it probably lasted, I want to say 3 years.
Okay.
And
that's pretty good.
Run. And then there's a couple of dynamics that kind of lead to the dissolution or the changes of things. So one is there's diverging musical interests. So this is 90, 93, 94. You know what's going on with grunge around that time, and you know I would say that what Big Noise was kind of like more like a prog rock kind of a thing, as opposed to. But at the same time, you got something like a Pantera going on.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like thrash became huge, grunge killed hair metal. You know, so you had a lot of stuff going on. I mean, 92, I think. And Justice for All came out in 91 or 92.
Justice for All was 88, and I can tell you,
was it really?
It was the Black.
Oh yeah, you're right. The Black album came out in early.
And I can tell you a fun And Justice for All story at some point.
Yeah, please.
So I'll tell you real quick. So in the second leg of the And Justice for All tour, I went to the first leg, and Queensryche is the opening act.
Yep, I went to both those shows too. Yep, Queensryche and then the Cult. Yep.
What happened at the Cult show?
It was like a small riot, and because they had chairs on the floor, where the first time they didn't have chairs on the floor was GA, and they had small little riot with piles and piles of chairs. I missed getting a Kirk Hammett guitar pick. The guy next to me got one. My seats were on the first level. We jumped over the rail. We were on the floor for a little while, and then I couldn't take the crowd. It was too nuts. So I moved over to like the first or second row of the first level, kind of off to the side. That's where I ended up. But, yeah.
Dave, you just made my night. Tell me you were in the.
It was one of the most insane concerts I've ever been to. To this day,
it's definitely my most insane concert for sure.
They played the whole show with the lights on. The lights were on the whole night.
They were. Absolutely. How many people got concussions from those chairs flying?
Oh God, they were throwing chairs all over the place. And then there was one time they threw a chair up on stage, and James stops the show, and he's like, "If you guys hit me in the head with a chair, I'm fucking leaving. So everybody chill the fuck out," or whatever he said, you know, but he was like pissed, you know, and he was like, "We're not going to play." They ended up doing 4 encores and finished the show with Bread Fan.
Yes, they did.
It was insane.
He stopped the show in the middle of Blackened.
Was that what
Absolutely.
it was? Was it Blackened?
It was early in the evening.
Yeah, that's the show they opened with. That's the
tour.
song they opened with. It was what's the opening song? The something gold. The theme music that they come out to.
Oh, the Ecstasy of Gold from the
Ecstasy of Gold from the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Right? They came out to that, and then the first song they played on that tour was Blackened. And yeah, it was like you said. I guess that's when they stopped it because the lights were on for the whole show. It was insane.
It was. So you were closer to it than I was. I was on the first level. I'm behind the boards, but like in the back towards the other.
We were like 7th row from the boards, and all of a sudden everybody just started running forward, so we ran forward too.
I'm surprised you didn't get hit.
It was nuts. It was nuts. Well, I got separated from all my friends. There were 4 of us total. And we all got separated, but we always had a rule. It was before cell phones and stuff, of course. So we were like, if we all get separated, just meet at the hockey statue. Our hockey statue was the place where we met. And we all met later. And my one buddy loved being in the pit. So he stayed like down front as close as he could get the whole time. He came out and his like shirt was halfway ripped off him and everything. He was all bloody. I'm like, damn, dude.
Oh my God. And that was not supposed to be a pit-oriented environment. The way that
because they had the chairs all zip-tied and everything. Nope. Crowd was not having those chairs. They made the mistake. If they were going to do that, and obviously hindsight's 2020, but like have the chairs for the first leg, right, and then have the floor GA for the next leg of the tour. But the first time when they came with Queensryche, there were no chairs. Yep. The floor was all GA. It was great. Everybody could like mosh and do their thing, and there were no issues.
Nope.
And then the second time around, a few months later, they were like, "Oh, we're gonna put chairs down," and it was nope. That was not happening.
I always wonder if Queensryche had opened the second leg and not the first leg, would the same result have happened?
I'm not sure,
because it was definitely some animosity between the Cult and the crowd.
Was there? I didn't really. Yeah. I know I was a little bit angry because, not angry. Angry is too strong of a word. I'm not a huge fan of when a band is on stage and the songs, like especially it's the singer, when the singer does like when he half-asses the lyrics and the song and stuff. And I'm not talking shit about the Cult. Maybe their fans like this stuff, but like here I am trying to sing along with the songs that I like from the Cult, and the lead singer is like changing everything up, and it just doesn't.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying they have to replicate the album, but the way they performed really kind of bothered me, and I don't know, maybe there was some stuff going on with the Cult in the crowd, but I didn't really notice.
I think there were some so that. Plus one to the vibe. I mean, like he didn't seem like he wanted to be there to begin with.
Yeah, that could be too. Yeah.
But then the crowd didn't. There were some folks in the crowd that were audibly booing the Cult after the first song, and even after some of the hits, like they're playing like "Sweet Soul Sister" and "Firewoman," and yes, not everyone's digging it.
Yeah. Interesting. It was. I'm so glad you were there to
corroborate your story.
Yeah, exactly. Because I've told that story so many times, and people are like, "Nah," and I'm like, "I swear to God." And like, it's a funny story. I don't think. No, I wasn't old enough to drive. I think I was like 16 maybe, and I rode my buddy lived in Kensington, over in like North Philly, before Kensington was whatever it is now. And
it's never been good,
we rode our bikes. We rode our bikes over to his house in Kensington, and then we jumped on the L, took the L to the subway, and took the subway to the Coors States Center, whatever it's called.
That was before this was the old Spectrum in Philadelphia.
Yeah, the Spectrum. Yeah, sorry. Yep. Yeah. So that was at the Spectrum. So. And then, but I told my parents, oh yeah, like Brandon's dad is taking us, is giving us a ride. And then, Jim's dad's going to pick us up and bring us home. But no, we were riding our fucking bikes to Kensington and then taking the L to the subway to the Spectrum. And then like they did 4 encores. I told my mom I was going to be home at like 11 or 11:30. I didn't get home till like 1 a.m.
Yeah, your mother must have had a heart attack.
I got away with it. She was sleeping. It was the one and only time I ever snuck into my house. I like literally like just tiptoed in, and then the next morning they were like, "How was the concert?" I was like, "It was great."
I hope you didn't tell your mother you rode bikes through Kensington of all.
I told her like when I was like 25. I eventually
I
told her like years later, and she's like, "You did what?"
Travel and through that neighborhood at your own risk. Even back then.
Yeah, dude, it was nuts. And then on the way home, the L broke down. We took the subway to the L, and we're on the L, and the L like stopped running, so we had to get on shuttle buses. And then we got off the bus like 4 blocks too soon, so we were running. It was insane.
Sounds like some of the runners for the Broad Street 10 mile are on just yesterday or 2 days ago ran into the same problems.
Did they really? It's crazy. Anyway, such good times.
Absolutely. I can rattle off all those. I've seen Metallica 6 times.
6
twice.
Okay.
7 times. So
wow.
Twice on Injustice, twice on the Black Album. One of those times at Brennan Byrne Arena in Jersey. One of them at the Spectrum.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Once on the St. Anger tour, once on the Hardwire tour at the Link in Philadelphia.
Nice.
And then we also saw them a couple of years ago in Raiders Stadium, in Allegiant Stadium in Vegas. Flew out the whole family for that. That was fantastic.
That's awesome. I love that. Yeah, I went to the 2 Injustice for All shows, and then I went to one of the Black Album shows. I forget which one, and saw Sebastian Bach in the center.
Oh, yeah.
You know how they had that hole in the stage?
Yeah, for sure.
And there were like contest winners and stuff. And then all of a sudden, and we weren't too far from the stage. We were in the back. And then my buddies are like, "Yo, that's Sebastian Bach, like in the middle of the stage. Like, what's happening?" And then like they showed him on the big screen, and we're like, "Yep, that's him." But you could spot him like a mile away. This big tall dude with long blonde.
He's not hiding in a crowd. I mean, he's 6'5" or whatever he is with all that hair.
Like
no.
that. Yeah, it was funny.
That's awesome.
Anyway, so who are some of your? I mean, obviously we're talking about like all this metal stuff, but like when you were learning any instrument, who were some of your like influences? Who'd you want to be like?
So so Metallica was first, and Metallica came into scope not because I was playing guitar. So I became a fan of hard rock and such in 1986 because my soccer team that I was on were all adopted heavy metal music for like practice. So like people are bringing like boom boxes to practice. So like Dio's Holy Diver album, Iron Maiden's Peace of Mind, and the Live After Death album, and Deep Purple's Perfect Strangers, and so this is like the background of things, and then Cliff Burton dies a month later, and that became the rallying. Okay. So there was a reason to like have Metallica be like the first thing that I learned, but the second place where I went, so Metallica would be the second act on Metallica's first act on my Mount Rushmore. The second one would be Rush, because I felt like I was progressing pretty nicely with my education on the bass, and just that Cowlock, even in 80s, 89, 90, it's just amazing stuff.
Sure.
And so so that definitely getting into Rush, that was the second stop on that journey, with a whole bunch of bands along the way. But then I started to go backwards. I went backwards to the stuff that I grew up with. So it's kind of funny that when you think about like the music that you grow up, like you're around my age, so you have 8-tracks, you have vinyl, and you have cassettes. And I think about like different acts and different form factors. So like the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack's on cassette, and the Eagles' Greatest Hits album is on 8-track. But the thing that I had pretty much on every format, or my parents had on every format, was Billy Joel. Billy Joel would be on my on my Mount Rushmore too.
Is he kind of the music that you grew up with? Or your parents are big fans of him, so
very
he
much
was on all the time?
Very much so. And Jim Croce and James Taylor and Carly Simon and Carole King. These are the reasons why I'm so interested in songwriting. And so I'm trying to, like my aspiration with being a songwriter myself would be, hey, if I can take like some of the harder stuff and some of the musical motifs that has and the energy, and apply it in like in a lyrical context that came from those singer-songwriters from the 70s and early 80s. Even if it gets classified as yacht rock, that's kind of where I wanted to be. Sure. And then the fourth on my Mount Rushmore, this is where I can never land. Like sometimes it's Iron Maiden, sometimes it's John Cougar Mellencamp, sometimes it's Breaking Benjamin of all bands. And Seven Dust ranks up there too. But where I'm landing at here on May 5th, 2025 would be Triumph.
Oh, okay.
So that would be...
Why Triumph?
So Triumph, the underrated trio from Canada, and incorrectly classified as progressive rock. But I would tell you that like the soccer team that I was on at the time had the Progressions of Power record, the Stages live album, Thunder 7. And so Triumph actually had like a decent following in Philadelphia. I'm not sure how much they got around the country. Here in the U.S., obviously they're major stars in Canada, but Rick Emmett, man, unbelievable singing voice, unbelievable badass on the guitar, and if there was ever like a musical role model that I'd want to kind of pattern my playing after, it would be that dude for sure.
Nice, very cool, awesome. Okay, so where are we now? So
I'm still back on the riot at the Philadelphia Spectrum.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I didn't mean to kind of take over that whole conversation. I mean, if there's anything you want to add.
No. Oh my gosh. I can't believe that we had that conversation. It seriously made my month.
I love that we had that connection. It's great. Oh man. So then okay, so you were in that band. And then have you ever done anything like solo, like anything like either like solo acoustic stuff or like what's that look like? Sure.
So let me tell you about the wall that I hit, and then then I'll then come back to that. So there were two dynamics that were going on. The first was the divergence of like musical interests and whatnot, and the second is I met my wife in college, and it was a case where like I went to college under protest. really wanted to do this full time.
Oh,
Little
okay.
did I know that there was going to be like Napster and just the demonetization of all things music in this world, and
Yep.
that it was really not going to be. My parents were really good to make sure that I had like a backup plan. And that led me to my career in technology. But am I going to be the person that's going to focus full time on music and nights and weekends when the demand is the highest? And like, nobody's hiring musicians at Wednesday at 11 o'clock in the morning unless you're in Nashville.
Right. Right. Exactly.
So if I'm going to be present on the home front, I might need to rethink my priorities in life a little bit. And also around the same time is when digital audio workstations became a thing.
Okay.
And so being in a band at that point, and we moved halfway across the country. We were living in Iowa while she was tracking down her master's degree.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And that led to starting a family and whatnot.
Sure.
And what having digital audio workstations did, like, this is like pre-audio tools, or Pro Tools.
Yep.
Our band was on a platform called Cakewalk back in the day.
Okay. I think I've heard of that. I've never experienced it, but I think I've heard of it before.
And it's still around today, and I use it, and it's just on this machine right now. It's fairly modern. It's competitive with Logic, and actually the price is right because it's free.
Nice.
But when the technology started evolving to the point where you could be your own band in your own bedroom, it kind of filled the gap for a little bit.
That's good.
Until 2006. 2005.
Okay.
2005, same dude, Johnny Karpowitz, calls me up. Hey, it's firing this back up. Let's get things together and start writing music again. So we're back from Iowa at this point. Because she wrapped up her master's degree in a hurry, as we were expecting our first child. This is like 1999, 2000. So we hustle back, and we're back here in southern New Jersey, and it's 5 years later. Let's get the band back together. It's under the banner called Artificial Black, and same sort of protocols before, maybe less on the gigging, more on the songwriting and the craft of songwriting and getting really good at recording music. So we did probably a couple dozen songs there. The funnest gig that we had is under the banner called Artificial Black. The funnest gig that we had in Artificial Black was at the House of Blues in Atlantic City. R.I.P.
Nice.
R.I.P.
It's a great venue.
Yeah,
I know, right? I saw Rob Zombie there. Such a great show.
Yeah.
A great venue.
It saddens me that idles.
I know.
But
too.
We played there for I guess it was a charity fundraiser for Daryl McDaniels. He's DMC from Run DMC.
Oh, okay.
So he has a foundation for child adoption. I think you had someone on the show recently talking about adoption.
Yeah, this guy
Dolan,
Andrew Dolan,
which is a fantastic story. So DMC has a similar-ish kind of a story as the child, not the adopter. And so he was doing a fundraiser there, and we were able to make our way onto that stage that night.
Nice.
Which you get to run around with a wireless unit on an enormous stage like that. That was a blast, for sure.
What year was that?
2006.
Approximately?
That show was
Okay,
2006.
nice.
And so that begets like other lineup changes and other songs and other stuff that never gets to see the light of day. And all the while, I probably revisit like singing a little bit more than I had since my education and working with Ken Greenfield. Hey, I think I probably should get back into it a little bit, and so I'm talking to a voice tutor probably around that time, and I'm picking up like the random wedding gig or the private gig or a couple of bar things like here and there, but never really promoting it just too much because I want it to be like kind of something special. I don't want to be the person that's out of the house 8 nights a month.
Sure. Yeah, it definitely wears on you, especially as like, family man and all that stuff. It's tough, you know. I mean, I do every other weekend because I've got my kids every other weekend. So the weekends that I don't have my kids, that's when I'm gigging. You know,
you only get one shot.
That's why
at
the
it.
open mic. Yeah, that's why the open mic at Little Ease is every other Sunday, because of those other weekends. I'm with my kids.
Now it all makes sense. Like the every other week things, I play at another open mic when I can get out of the house. It's at the American Legion in Mullica Hill. It's more like a full band kind of a thing, but that's every other week too. I'm like,
is it really?
But that's also an awesome scene too, with lots of.
Is it really? I'll have to try to get out there.
First and third Friday nights of every month. Hosted by the Exit 2 band, or the Exit 2 band, on the first Friday of the month, and then the Camo Pants band hosts the third night of the third Friday of the month, and it's just a blast.
Nice. Yeah, some of those open mics or open stages, whatever you want to call them, that have like the full back line and all that stuff, they're fun. They're fun, but like with for those that haven't been to the open mic at Little Ease, like I'm a solo acoustic guy. I prefer to have things a little bit more on the acoustic side, and we don't have a drum set, we don't have a full back line, you know. But you're welcome to bring your electric guitar and amp and all that stuff. And sometimes I bring a bass with an amp and stuff. But we always have a cajon for drums. We don't have a full set,
which fills that room just fine. It is appropriate for that room. At the American Legion, it's a little bit larger of a room, and you can get away with a full drum kit, and you can also get away with folding. You've seen this. I don't like to be the solo person. Maybe just to do like one song, just to be an icebreaker.
Sure.
But one of my gimmicks, I guess, if you will, is to include people. And if we'll simplify the songbook, the set of songs that we've got. And hey, if you know this 3-chord song, come up here and join me. Kick me off the microphone. Pick up an instrument. Come join me.
Yeah. That's always fun. That sort of happened naturally at Little Ease for us, because we didn't, when we first started, we'd have 4 or 5 people on the list, and it was like, all right, well, everybody played. Now what are we going to do? Do we just run through the list again, or and then it was just kind of like, let's just do whatever anybody wants to do. You want to come back up again? Sure. Or do you want to, hey, AJ, we've never played this song before. Let's try it, so it becomes like an open jam. And the spectators who sit at the bar, most of them are not musicians, that's their favorite part of the night. Like, they love that. They're like, I can't wait to hear what you guys come up with. It's great.
Absolutely. It's right off the cuff, and it's the energy is, it grows exponentially.
It does. Yeah. At the end of the night, things kind of go off the rails, but it's
fun. I live for that. And the kind of thing that you do with open mics, and anyone that invests time to do open mics, it actually has like a societal benefit to it. You have folks that might be at that bar that aren't singers full time per se, or they might not have been trained, and they've never had the opportunity to play in a band. But if you give someone an opportunity to step up in a welcoming way, hey, safe space, go ahead and screw up, doesn't matter. You're sending people home with good vibes, and you're putting them in a position, but leaving the venue feeling better about themselves than when they started.
Yeah, we've had quite a few people who were like, I've never played in front of people before. Well, then let's go. Come on.
Game on.
It may take a little bit more nudging and some encouragement, but we usually get some first timers up there, and they end up loving it. They have a great time. We haven't lost a man yet.
So until you lose someone, you keep it rolling. Absolutely.
That's right.
Absolutely. So I do need to do a better job of because I have a job that forces me to travel a little bit.
Sure.
It's quite possible I have to be in San Francisco. It's Monday night, May 5th. There's quite a possibility I need to be on stage with a customer 48 hours from now in San Francisco.
Oh, geez.
So there's it's hard for me to commit to stuff during the week. But when it comes to there's other open mics that are going on days that are other than Friday or Sunday. and I'd like to be able to get out to a couple of those at some time. So if anyone ever sees this this video and you see me at an open mic and you want to team up on something, I am fair game. I probably know your song, unless it's country.
Yeah, well, that's the one thing I really noticed about you. And for those listeners or watchers who don't know you, you're like a human jukebox. Like, you know just about every song there is.
Back in the day, on the first version of the David Letterman show, on Late Night with David Letterman, when it was on NBC before it went to CBS, he had a segment called Stupid Human Tricks.
Yeah, I remember.
Knowing all the songs is not necessarily, quote, knowing all the songs. It's like knowing when the first note is and having enough music theory to be able to predict where the song's going.
Oh, okay, I got you.
So
do you watch Rick Beato at all on YouTube? Do you know him?
I love his channel. As soon as he gets into like the 25-minute thing, then my ADHD starts to kick in a little bit. But he's amazing.
I'm kind of the same way now. But he talks about like perfect pitch and but the thing that amazed me about him is he'll go through like the top 10 pop Spotify things or whatever, and it'll be the first time he's ever heard the song. But to what you were just saying, he'll go, okay, yeah, that's A minor. It's in A minor, so the next chord will be D or what, you know what I mean? And he can, within 10 seconds of hearing a song for the first time, he's basically strumming along with it, and he knows all the chord changes. It's crazy.
Ken Greenfield drilled not perfect pitch, but relative pitch. Perfect pitch is, are you like 5 cents off of hitting the note properly? Oh, okay. Relative pitch is, this is C, and it's the one chord in the song, and this is how the rest of the song's probably organized. Okay. So my teacher drilled relative pitch into me quite a bit. That was like a regular segment in our weekly lessons for sure. And so an example of this for me was one of the times I subbed with 99 Reasons. They had this song. They played "Cake by the Ocean."
Oh yeah.
I never heard this song in my life, but 10 minutes, I got it. And so sometimes when we go to open mic, hey, I might not know it, but if I go out to the car for a second in a quiet space and you tell me, are you playing it in the original key? There's a decent chance I can figure it out.
That's awesome. I love that. You know,
stupid human trick,
especially when you consider common chord. What was it? Chord phrases or like
shapes.
A lot of songs are like a lot of songs are like the 1, 4, and 5. You know, it's like the most common chord progression in the world. You know, so I guess if since you know the relative, you can always kind of figure it out that way.
Exactly. You do not need a PhD. It is literally just the time in the woodshed. That's all.
Which a lot of people don't want to do.
Exactly. But when I was a college kid and before I met her, it's I had time because I wasn't going to class. That's for sure.
Yeah. Right. There you go. All right. So let's talk a little bit about gear. I know a couple times you've come to the open mic. You've got a pretty massive pedal board.
Yep.
And then I see a bunch of gear behind you. You don't have to run through every piece of equipment, but like, what's kind of the favorite stuff that you like to play with?
Well, I will say before I get into, maybe we'll do a little more show and tell. We'll do show and tell before the
whatever
the songs,
you want to do. It's your episode. Yep.
But I want to make sure it's interesting. I do find having gear is super inspirational for songwriting. Mm-hmm. When you play a Telecaster, when you play an SG. Those are two totally different instruments with two different sounds and two different feels, and you feel like you're channeling a different part of your skill set. So that's why I guess that's my rationalization for why I have a few guitars. But when I'm here, I'll show you a couple of pieces. So
sure. When
I play, my band Glacier hates this instrument, but. This is a Steinberger.
Ooh, that's beautiful.
And what's interesting about it is it's headless. The other thing that's interesting about, I don't have this plugged in at the moment. This is a transposing tremolo, so it's not just a whammy bar. But let's say you're at a gig and the singer blows out. You can push this down. It kind of works like a stick shift in a car, and you can transpose the instrument down or up.
No way, really?
You can go so this is E standard tuning, like regular guitar tuning. It can go a full step down to D. It can go down to D. It can go a full step up to F sharp.
Wow.
So if you wanted to play like Slide by the Goo Goo Dolls, but that's like you'd normally use a capo for that. You capo at the first fret. You can just activate the gear shift, and you don't have to capo.
Cool.
So I use this, but everyone thinks I look like a dork because I'm playing a headless instrument.
Because it's headless.
Yeah. But maybe the one of the most interesting pieces that I got is this thing.
Nice.
This is my Coke caster. Patent pending. And you're gonna see this in a moment. So this is the only guitar I've ever assembled in my life.
Oh, really?
I had a little bit of help from Nick at Bearded Guitar Repair in Williamstown doing some of the finishing touches on this. But so the body was I bought off of Reverb.com. There's an artist that goes under the moniker of Pistols Crown Guitar, and this is like totally random driftwood kind of stuff. I think it's pine, but I don't know for sure. And then I have a generic neck, but what's the name of the gentleman? Doug Taylor. Doug Taylor in West Deptford Township did this for me on a generic neck.
Nice. Oh, that's sweet. That's very cool. Love it. The Coca-Cola Coke caster.
And this is not, I don't know if it really shows like this on the camera. This is not a decal. This is etched, laser etched into the wood. Is
it like burned in there or? Okay, that's very cool. Love it.
Doug Taylor, you look him up on Facebook. He does it. It's a pretty amazing service. So
nice. One
of the things that's interesting about this guitar, if you take a look at it, it's like standard equipment until you see this thing.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Let's do a little show and tell.
Yeah, let's do it.
Little show and tell. This is a gadget made by Hipshot.
Okay.
So it has two functions. Can you see? Can we hear this?
Yep.
Can you hear that?
I can. Yes.
It'll be a little bit louder when we play electric. Oh, let's switch up here. All right. So this is standard tuning with a whole lot of reverb to it. So one of the things is that the easy thing that it can do, it can drop your bottom E string down to a D.
Oh wow! Okay, so now you're drop D.
I can do a drop D with this, but the cooler thing about this, see this bar?
Yeah.
This is a B bender. The B bender allows you to make like those Hawaiian pedal steel kind of sounds. So instead of just playing a C add chord, add 9 chord.
Oh, okay. It bends the B string, right? Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
No one asks me to play country songs. It's probably because I don't know the vernacular so well. But there you go. So I have a lot of fun with it.
But just by like tilting the guitar and I guess leaning against that bar, it pulls on the B string, right?
You're hitting your hip against this.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Now
that's so cool.
the real B benders are the ones that you pull on the strap and it's all hollowed. I don't have that.
Yep.
But this is more than adequate for the once in a while that you're going to play like Tangerine by Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, there you go. Yep, that's awesome. I love that.
Exactly. So every element of the guitar collection has a little bit of a different purpose like that.
That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, I'll show you the acoustics when we get ready to do the songs.
Yeah. Anything before we get to like a performance of any kind? Anything else? Like, have we missed anything or anything else you want to talk about or promote or just let my listeners know about?
Okay, so two things to promote. And I usually don't have lots of things to promote. First of all, I don't really have like an Instagram presence or a YouTube presence. Just reach out to me on Facebook. I post musical stuff more than once in a while. The alias is just AJMEE, M as in Mary, EE. and just say, hey, I'll know you. I don't have a common friend with you, but I heard you on Dave Cudrak's podcast, so I will accept your friend request from there. And that's where I kind of post what's going on. So 2 things to promote. The first is my little band called Glacier. We've already talked about those guys a bit. Our funnest gig of the year is every July 4th. On July 4th, it is the Paulsboro Independence Day Parade. Okay. And it kind of weaves through town. Did you ever see the music video for "Keep Your Hands to Yourself" by Georgia Satellites?
Georgia Satellites.
And so what's going on in the video?
They're riding around on like a truck, right? A flatbed truck, right?
That's what's going on. And
nice.
and I would think the visual for us is a little bit more. Not everyone's going to know this, but Dokken also had a music video back around that time for a song called "It's Not Love," and they're riding around on the. So there's no stacks of hay in the truck.
Yeah.
They're riding around Los Angeles on the flatbed attached to a Mack truck.
I'm sure I've seen it. I just don't remember it. And I used to be a huge Dokken fan, so I'm sure I've seen it. I just don't
trust me,
remember
you're not missing much. But in either of these music videos, you know the one thing that they're not revealing? The thing that they're not revealing is that they are not playing the music live. When we do this parade, we're on the back of a flatbed, or we're on a flatbed attached to a municipal truck. That flatbed may or may not be level. We're running a generator to get power to run the PA and stuff. It is the most physically challenging thing that you could probably do as a musician. It's way harder than loading in and loading out before and after a gig. I've ridden 130 miles on my bike in the last 3 days. There's nothing physically as challenging as this parade. So it's kind of short. You know, we're only out there playing for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. But if you're out there with us on Independence Day, it is pretty cool. There's a couple of other bands that do the same thing. And go winding through town, and we take a look at like who's out there and where are they located, and you try to make an educated guess of what song they might want to hear, and then you just kind of go for it. Yeah. And so the whole thing is live. We are not miming on stage. No tracks.
That's awesome. I love it. So is it like a regular typical parade, and then there's a few bands on trucks?
Yeah, I think there's like 2 other bands on truck, and there's other ensembles where they're like doing dancing. There's a Hawaiian dance troupe that we're usually, for whatever reason, we're somewhere close to them. There was one year. Okay, so I'll tell you a funny story. One year there was an Elvis impersonator on the car before us or the car after us. He's singing the tracks. The PA goes down. Oh no! So what happens? He jumps onto our trailer, and then we're going to play Hound Dog.
Oh really? Nice.
It's easy enough to kind of fake a few Elvis songs. So yeah, it's a variety of stuff. It's it's much more about the kids and them decorating their bikes and typical parade stuff and awesome Americana. And all that stuff. Yep. And it gets there's a television show called Eye on Paulsboro where they kind of record everyone as they're passing through the high school. You get to play in front of the grandstand for a couple of moments. It's a moment of awesomeness where the community comes together. So we cherish that so long as it's not 100 degrees and 90% humidity and that sort of thing. So that's one thing to promote. The second thing to promote is on June 28th at Bridgeport Speedway in southern New Jersey. I get the phone call to support an act called Deja Vu. This is This is a show that we've played quite a bit at the Bridgeport Speedway. It's led by a drummer. His name's Bo Gregory. You could probably play 60 Degrees of South Jersey music separation with Bo Gregory. He is the drummer in Poor Mouth Henry.
Oh, okay. Yep, I've heard of him.
He's a badass drummer. He also is the proprietor and the booker for Deja Vu. And so every year on average, sometimes we play twice, he'll basically assemble what I like to think of as an all-star troupe of additional musicians that we don't always play together every time, but It's like high octane rock. You are playing next door to the Bridgeport Speedway, and here's the setup. You play in this covered pavilion that runs parallel to the grandstand. In between the grandstand and the pavilion, there's a driveway where sometimes the cars come through. And so we play as people are coming into the facility to start the afternoon or start the evening, and kind of really rock it out. And then the races take place. And then after the races, everyone comes back out, and they come back into that alley, and they do the parade of the cars while we're kind of like tearing up the amplifiers and trying to compete and see who can be louder. And there's like a couple thousand people that are there, and they're like all crowding in the concourse there. They're hanging from the backside of the promenade there. You got the folks that are in the pavilion, and it's just amazing.
That's fantastic. That sounds like so much fun.
It is. So I try to, instead of like, once again, it's not about, for me, it's not about the quantity. I just care about, and I never even care about playing for money. It's really about, it's not a financial thing. I'm blessed in life. I don't have to worry about, music is purely for the joy of like hanging out with people and making someone's night better than it would have been otherwise.
That's awesome. Yeah. So you just do it for the experience.
Absolutely.
Yep. Enjoying the whole experience. That's great. Man. That's fantastic. Awesome. What songs are you going to do for us today, brother? All
right. So the first one, let's get the guitar out. So this is a Takamine 12 string.
Beautiful.
It's not as cool as Johnny Karpowitz's Takamine, and it's got a couple of bumps and bruises, but I've written a couple of songs on this thing.
Nice.
And the song that I'm going to play for you now is one of these two unreleased evergreen songs. It's called Conversation 23. It's not
Conversation 23.
There's no significance to the number. It could have been 144. It has nothing to do with Michael Jordan. What it has to do with is being a dad. Have you ever heard the song "Cats in the Cradle" by Harry Chapin? Of course you have, and everyone's heard that song. I was never like the biggest Harry Chapin fan. I didn't like it. I didn't dislike "Cats in the Cradle" or any of his other songs. But he wasn't a very accomplished songwriter.
Sure.
When the kids came around, that song had a different meaning. And my intent with having to balance being a dad with being a career person with music and other interests of mine, like I had to be a dad first. I was not going to be the dad in that story, and so I found it to be like a really, it was vital. I'm so glad that he wrote that song, because it gave me focus.
Kind of taught you what not to do, right?
Exactly, and so I think I went the other direction, and maybe hopefully not too much of a helicopter parent. But I was not going to let like I put a cap on my music career. I put a cap on my professional career, so I could be a dad first, because I know I was only going to get one shot at it. You're living that right
that's
now.
Awesome.
My kids are 26, 24, and 22 now. Around the time that they were 10, 8, and 6. So it's been a while.
Yeah, mine are 9 and 11 right now.
Yeah, so you don't need to hear me say, enjoy every second that you got.
I'm in the midst.
But I would say, like, definitely after my daughter turned 10, boy, girl, boy. Kids are maybe like 12, 10, 8. Maybe it was about then. Don't quite remember, but I start thinking, like, is this the last time that I'm going to carry my daughter around the place? Is this
I've had some of
the last time that I'm going to play catch with my son? Right. And it's like that kind of stuff, and it makes you. I don't know about you, and I don't know how you'll treat this, but I felt like I had to cram even more being dad stuff before the sands went through the hourglass.
Yeah, dude. Every weekend I have them, it's like we're packing so much stuff into the weekend. Like trying to do this and that, and it's crazy.
You are living the dream, and I am envious of you that you still get to be able to do that, because I have 3 kids in 3 states now.
Oh, geez.
One's married, and
you're a bit of an empty nester.
No, absolutely. So what this song is about, Conversation 23, it's like how many bits of advice can I try to give my kids before they wind up leaving the house, and they're probably going to ignore half the advice that I ever gave them. And I remember being like the kid in Cats in the Cradle, and I don't know, I didn't always prioritize spending time with my parents when I was a teenager.
Sure.
I regret that now, and I try to make up for it at this point in life. Fortunately, I still have both of them here with us now, which is fantastic. So this is about just trying to race in and get as much time in with the kids while they're still under your roof.
Nice.
All right. So am I on? I am not on. So mix it up using the 12 string instead of the 6 string here a little bit.
All right.
How do we sing?
Sounds good.
All right. So let's go. I know what my problem is. Wrong preset.
Tell me why you seem so distressed, guided by oceans of restlessness. Take a pause, you got the gift of free will. You think you've got an answer for it all, as if those questions all seem so small. Yet the wise know that to learn every day. You grow so tired of waiting that it clouds your current point of view. You look into the distance, not seeing what's in front of you. Avoid falling to temptation, might lead you to litigation. Yet the wise know that to learn every day. When you find the shortest road, and it seems like the only way to go, look around, 'cause that path might be all uphill. You grow so tired of waiting that it clouds your current point of view. You look into the distance without seeing what's in front of you. I might seem scatterbrained, but hear what I have to say. Well, I guess you're not listening anyway. Yeah, yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa. You grow so tired of waiting, it clouds your current point of view. You look into the distance, not see what's in front of you. In these times when virtue's despised and your faith is often chastised, persevere, 'cause sometimes the world seems so bizarre. Challenges are last afterthoughts, and they're there whether you want them or not. So be strong, 'cause I believe in all you are. You grow so tired of waiting, it clouds your current point of view. You look into the distance and not see what's in front of you.
Nice job, brother. Nice job. That was great. I love it.
I don't know what. Can you hear me? I think I lost my monitor.
I can hear you. Yeah. Oh, okay. Can you hear me or no?
Here we go. I lost.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Can I hear you now? Yeah. So I'm in the middle of doing my nonsense while I'm strumming the guitar. I use the in-ear monitors when I'm talking to you tonight. I think I knocked the volume down on my.
So I can hear no worries. But it sounded great though. Everything sounded great. It was awesome.
Thank you. So let's switch out guitars here a little bit, and I'll tell you about the second song.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So I love playing the 12-string. I need to bust this out more for open mic night because it's a different sound.
I have one hanging on my wall. It's an Epiphone acoustic 12-string, and I brought it to a couple gigs here and there to do like Wanted Dead or Alive and Hotel California. But then I was just like, I don't know. It's an extra guitar is a lot to bring just for 2 songs, so. But there's part of me that I keep looking at. I'm like, I need to bring that out a little bit more.
It's so much fun, and I would advise you that don't do what I'm doing now, which is going straight from the 12-string to the 6-string, because I was doing this as we were setting up before we connected, and like I pick up the 6-string here, and did I break a string?
It feels weird, right?
Suddenly and it's not like you're in baseball when you got the donut on your back and on your bat and you're taking some practice swings.
Yep. It's like the opposite.
Exactly. So let me get this set up. So this is I probably get more questions about this guitar than I do anything else.
Yeah, I know what it is, but feel free to show
All right.
it.
So this thing is it is an emerald guitar that comes from the country of Ireland, from where my at least some of my ancestors are from. The thing that's interesting about this, so it's a 6-string guitar. It's got it looks weird because the holes, the sound holes in a different spot. The thing that's interesting about this is that it's made not from wood. No trees were harmed in the making of this guitar. It's made from carbon fiber. The dude that runs Emerald Guitars was apparently working on Formula One racing boats in St. Louis.
Wow. Okay.
So he applied that engineering kind of know-how to making a full range of acoustic and some electric instruments. So emeraldguitars.com, it's a good company to do business with. So this says not one but two pickup systems in it, which is kind of weird for. It has an under saddle system, and it's got an in the sound hole kind of system to it. So you're able to get kind of different sounds out of it. The one thing that kind of frustrates me, it's not about like this particular guitar, but the frets on this. Sorry for anyone that's in this audience that's not geeky about gear, but the frets on this guitar are made not from nickel silver. They're made from stainless steel.
Oh, okay.
And they're purported to have like infinite life. For those of us that have had guitars for years and years, like working on frets, like metal on metal, the frets tend to wear out a bit, and stainless steel.
Yeah, I've got a couple of acoustics that I have played a lot over the years, and they've got little grooves. They got
grooves in it, right? And I've spent many a rainy Sunday leveling and crowning frets. It's not. Really? I've got the gear right up there. It's not a fun job, but you got to do it in order for your guitar to play well. But the thing with the stainless steel frets, they sound great. The issue is that it kills the string so quickly. Like these are. I'll have to change strings after this conversation, and really? I probably put these on like 4 days ago.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. How it would shorten the life of a string.
Because it's harder.
Yeah, I guess it would. Yeah.
Yeah, but these are first world problems that I shouldn't really be complaining about, right? It's like an unbelievably fantastic. I don't have investment grade guitars. Maybe this is like somewhere on that spectrum a little bit.
I have a quick question about that sound hole, because I know Gibson came out with a line of acoustics. I forget what they were called, but they had an extra sound hole kind of where that is, but more on like the side of the guitar. And they marketed it as it was a sound hole benefit the player.
Yeah.
So you could, as you're playing, you could hear a more natural or true sound of your guitar. Do you, with that sound hole where it is, do you feel like you're hearing like what your guitar truly sounds like because it's more coming at you?
If I don't have my in-ear monitors in, yes.
Right. Okay, that's good.
If I take these out, but yeah, these are blocking everything, so it's only through the board.
Yeah. So if you don't have your monitors in though, like if you play a regular acoustic guitar with the sound hole in its normal spot, and then you switch to that, do you hear like an audible difference?
Absolutely, because the angle of this, it's you think it's like paint from this view, it looks like it's pointing at you. Look at it from it's like a 45-degree angle. Mm-hmm. So like part of it is coming up at the player.
Okay, makes sense.
It's pretty awesome. I used to. I played a couple of the Tacoma guitars from way back in the day. That was like a grunge era acoustic guitar, and that had the sound hole up here. But that wasn't for the benefit of the player. It just projected the sound in a different direction.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Those are fun little instruments if you can find them on the used market.
Yeah, the Gibson ones had the normal sound hole,
and
but
then
like
it was a circular one, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I have not seen them in the wild when I do my my rounds at the guitar shops.
I saw them down in Nashville. We were at a guitar place called Nashville New and Used or something like that. They had a couple of them hanging on the wall, and I was like, "What is this?" You
ever go when you were in Nashville? Did you go to Gibbstown's from where I'm from? At the Gibson Garage.
Gibson Garage. Yeah, I've been to the Gibson Garage twice. I've been to Carter's Vintage twice. I've been to Groon a couple times. I bought my last guitar at Groon in Nashville.
Awesome. That's an awesome shop.
I bought a Michael Landau signature Fender Coma Stratocaster.
That's a big win. I hope you get. You should contact Michael Landau. Let him know that you got his signature guitar.
I'm trying. Yeah, I'm trying.
That would be a major one. Big fan of Michael Landau for sure.
Yeah. Are you really? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's played on like everything. Full disclosure, I didn't even know who he was. I just saw this guitar and I'm like, what is that? And then I picked it up and I was like, oh my God, I love this guitar. I don't know what it is. I love this guitar. And then the sales rep, told me, oh, that's the Michael Landau signature. And then I Googled who's Michael Landau and I was like, holy shit. But yeah, I love that guitar.
You needn't go no further than Endless Summer Nights by Richard Marx. That is like one of the desert island kind of guitar tones for me.
This guitar's even got like the routed out part because during the 80s when he had to do the dive bombs and stuff, he put a Floyd Rose in it, so he routed out the Stratocaster, body but now it doesn't have a Floyd Rose in it. It's got a standard like Fender Strat whammy thing, tremolo, right? But yeah, it's got the routing out to pay homage to all the work he did on that guitar.
That's pretty bad. I don't think I've ever seen him, but I just know the records that he's played on. Yeah, and like seeing him featured in like Guitar Player magazine and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
but man,
I'll send you a picture. I'll send you a picture of my guitar once.
Please do. He's just like that sound is just. Those songs are not those songs without him and his gear for sure. Yep. So. I am busting out a little bit of nonsense from the pedal board to get started here on this tune called Light Between the Trees. So what this is about, in addition to guitar, I'm an avid cyclist. And like I said earlier, I spent a lot of time pedaling through all of South Jersey, in particular Salem and Cumberland counties, where suburban Philadelphia kind of fades and becomes like all farmland. A couple miles down the road, I live much closer to it than I did when I lived in Gibbstown. There's this farmhouse, and it's probably set like, I don't know, 3 football fields away from the street. The farmland is obviously it's cleared out. It's probably forest at one point, but on this road that the driveway that takes you from the street to their home. It's lined with trees on either end. Okay. And one day I'm biking by this house, and there's like this single solitary streak of light that I see going through the trees. And I don't know what kind of frame of mind that I was in when I saw that, but it's kind of cool. It wasn't like a super sunny day, but it's just like this one streak, and there wasn't anything like bad going on personally or professionally that day. But that's kind of like a hopeful kind of a thing. So wrote a song about it called Light Between the Trees.
Awesome.
And so let's
Oh, listen to that. That's fun.
We're going to go to church a little bit. So I showed you a little bit earlier that I have one guitar set up with synths. My pedal board has a little synth, so I could do a Rhodes sound.
Oh, that's cool.
And I could do like a synth sound.
Nice.
But let's go to church for this one. None of those the guitar synths, like when people do see me play the keyboards, I'm using air quotes here. These devices are not perfect, and I would not consider myself to be a perfect player, but I'm a better player than sometimes it sounds like coming out, because they can be a little bit glitchy. But
it gets the job done.
It gets the job done. If you want to play Don't Stop Believing, I can probably make my way through that. Right. This is Light Between the Trees.
Tell me what to see, then let me find the light between these trees without going blind.
Let's try that again when I can play 6-string instead of 12. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Lately, I'm wondering why I'm here, feeling so unsure. Here now, my vision's still unclear. It's more vague than before. Tell me what to see, well, and let me find the light between these trees without going blind. Plainly, tell me what's in store. Share the bad news first. Come now, you've been through this before. You've seen me at my worst. Just tell me what to see, and let me find the light between these trees without going blind. Do you happen to know the way to the end? Can I trust that's real and not some kind of pretend? Does the path point ahead, or could I go astray? Before I take one more step, please show me the way. Lately, the obstacles disappear, more so than before. Here now, I don't live in fear. I know what I'm looking for. Tell me what to see, well, then let me find the light between the trees without going blind. Hey! Tell me what to see, well, don't let me down. The light between the trees reveals solid ground. It's really not hard to find the light between these trees.
Yeah, man. Nice.
Thank you so much. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to play this stuff.
Dude, I love it. I love it. Thank you so much.
Man.
That was awesome. AJ, it was a pleasure having you on the podcast, brother. I appreciate you doing it.
Likewise. I appreciate you, Dave.